Hey, Truth Seekers, 154th post here. A lot of you been asking me about the letter S and why I decode it two different ways. Let me tell you why. It's from that book I just showed you, and we'll use fish as the example. If you write out the letters for fish, F is the sixth, I is the ninth, S is the 19th, and H is the eighth, it sums to 42. It has the meaning of life number. If you write out that same number sequence, 6, 9, 19, 8, but then add up each digit individually, 6 plus 9 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8, it sums to 33. If you compress each digit to a single letter, which is the exact same as the method above, except for S becomes 1 instead of 1 plus 9, which equals 10, then it sums to 24. So do you see this distinction between the S's? With the one method, every letter reduces to the same as a single digit except for S. It becomes 10 instead of 1. So that's why it's okay to do it both ways. S is a special letter. Think of all the sports teams that emphasize S. Even Michigan, which is from a state which begins with M, uses an S for their symbol. This is why S is a special letter. It's the only letter in the alphabet you have to reduce twice to get to a single digit. I should have taught it this way from the beginning. The reason I didn't is because it becomes overwhelming, so I think it's easier just to start with a single digit. But now you guys know S is another special letter. It has an option. I'm about to show you this reporting here, this update on the White House fence jumping. Watch this. CNN's going to bring on reporter Joe Johns. Just think about how ridiculous that name sounds. Joe Johns. And Joe Johns is going to give us some details on the White House fence jumping. Also, about that White House fence jumping, I want you to know that the two incidents were exactly 33 days apart, September 19th and October 22nd. The numerology of the first date was 9 plus 19 plus 14 for September 19th, 14. Sums to 42, the meaning of life number, and he was said to be 42 years old. Also in the reporting, we'll hear that his name was Omar. Omar sums to 47, like the word president, like the word Caesar. So anyway, also on that 47 note, Joe Biden is currently the 47th vice president. Let's watch Joe Johns in action here in a second.
Continue to follow it. Appreciate everybody joining us on this one. Thank you. Now to breaking news about that big security breach of the White House in September. The Department of Homeland Security, they just completed the review of the White House fence jumping incident, and I got to tell you, it is very damning. You'll remember the man, Omar Gonzalez, spotlighted in the video. He was able to not only clear the fence, run across the north lawn onto the
Truth Seekers, I know the picture's not the best on here, but that's another thing I want to comment on. And all these hoaxes, the images they give us are so grainy and so hard to make out. And think about it, we live in this age with these HD cameras abundant and everywhere, yet the images of the hoaxes always look like they're from the 80s.
north portico, but he actually got inside the White House itself. He made it past an officer stationed inside the doors, ran past a staircase that leads to the first family's residence, made it into the East Room, where he was finally tackled. Now, according to this internal review, there were a string of blunders by the Secret Service that allowed this to happen, including the fact that one Secret Service agent was talking on his personal cell phone when all this was going down. Our senior Washington correspondent Joe Johns joins me now with the latest. So there's a lot of damning evidence in this report. Kind of take us through it if you can.
Well, okay, September 19th, right out here, White House lawn, Gonzalez comes over the fence, Anderson. And after that, it's just a bad day for the Secret Service. A series of things happen, starting with the canine officer who's out here parked on the driveway in his van. The report said the canine technician with the dog stationed inside the van actually, when Gonzalez jumped the north fence, the canine officer was on a call on his personal cell phone, on speaker, without his radio earpiece in his ear, and he left his second tactical radio in his locker. So big problem for him right there. Meanwhile, when Gonzalez actually gets to the north portico, he had to apparently climb through the bushes. Now, the agents and officers did not think that was possible, but somehow he was able to do it. He goes up on the portico. An agent on the outside thinks, oh, the door's locked. But it wasn't locked, and Gonzalez pushes his way in, Anderson.
And once he got through the front door, what happened next?
Well, there's a female officer on the other side, and she's pushed backwards. She sees him, she reaches for her baton, but she grabs her flashlight. She tries to tackle him, but he's too big, and he keeps going toward the East Room. He's finally taken down with the help of a couple agents who happened to just be off duty at that time around the East Room. Meanwhile, the ERT team, the SWAT team, as it were, was still staging.
All right, that's enough with the lies. Did you notice how he just said the word agents? The word agent sums to 47, plus S is plus 19, 66. The name John is 47. The name Johns is also 66. So not only does he have this coded 33 name, Joe Johns, he also has a coded 66 name. And, yeah, that was enough, truth seekers. All right, until next time.